how you doing? My name is Ryan, and today I'm designing and building custom LEGO Marvel sets based on some of the movies and TV shows of Phase 5. I'm on a mission to make a polybag size build for every property in the MCU, and so far we've tackled quite a few heavy hitters like Loki, Spider-Man, and Iron Man, but this video has some of the most requested custom minifigures I've ever made. By the way, if you haven't watched part 1 or 2 yet of this series, just as a refresher, these custom sets are trying to follow the guidelines and restrictions of a typical LEGO polybag, so small builds under 60 pieces with at most 1 new minifigure. So let's get started with Daredevil Born Again. I want the build to be compatible with my Spider-Man Homecoming set, essentially creating a series of alleyways. So I made a copy of the Spider-Man polybag, reconstructed it, flipped and reversed, and added a street lamp instead of a dumpster with some open studs on the side for later. The rest of the wall is a typical dark red brick pattern, except for this one section. The smooth bricks here are not a mistake, but a canvas rather, for some graffiti of Kingpin. To design this graphic, I laid out some elements like 2 bald figures and some fire tiles for reference. Then, once I isolate the elements in Photoshop, I'll arrange them into the right spot, run the graphic through filters, and there you go, a LEGO style graffiti of Kingpin. Add this decal, and now the set feels like a more lively New York City alleyway. And with the set built, it's time to design a custom LEGO Daredevil minifigure. In the past few months, I've had some major successes with torso decals from MakeStickers.com, and I think it's time to start experimenting with legs and heads. Plus, given how many people wanted me to make a Daredevil figure, I want to go all out here. For as worried as I was to design such a requested character, the torso was relatively easy to block out. I designed these 3 armor plates, or rather, half of each armor plate, then copy, paste, and flip to make sure the shapes are symmetrical. Then I drew a smaller seam that runs in the perimeter of each armor plate for accuracy and detailing. Then I blocked out these black accent shapes that run down the sides of the torso and beneath the belt. Speaking of which, I'll use a dark gray color outline to separate the various segments of that belt without having to resort to differing shades of black. And now with the main shapes locked in, it was time to add shading and detail, and thus the return of my design enemy, dots. The texture on the Daredevil suit closely resembles the dot patterning I used in my Taskmaster design, so I grabbed the dot layers from that design file, covered the entire Daredevil torso in dots, before removing chunks to reveal just the section I want the pattern on. Think of this process like dot carving. But even just a semi-transparent layer of dots does so much in adding texture and detail to the torso, at least on the front. For the back, I'll take the design's main shapes like the collar and arches and expand them downward to match the look of the suit. And pro tip, if you can find a cosplay image of the costume you're designing for LEGO form, it is really easy to get clean, flat, and full images in high quality of the costume's front and back of whatever you're designing. And moving down to the legs, I'll do a simple asymmetric design with some buckles on the left leg, and while the artistry is a bit plain here, the decal I'm designing will not go onto blank red legs. Instead, I'm grabbing the Infinity Saga Star-Lord legs with the black boots to elevate my Daredevil even more. Now for the face, I'm taking some measurements of this off-brand helmet I want to use to make sure the eyes land in the right spot. And to be honest, the eyes might still not end up in the right spot, it still might look a little bit off, as this is the first time I'm designing a decal for a face, but I'm very excited to start experimenting with applying a light nougat decal to a black head. This process should allow for the maximum amount of color and brightness contrast for the best possible figure. Now, given the popularity of Daredevil and how many requests I've gotten to make this custom figure, I am going to give away the art files for free to anybody who watches. Now, if you're a channel member, I have some special prints just for you guys, as well as a couple of other goodies, so be sure to stick around to find out what those are. But for now, we can put Daredevil in the alleyway, and now that he's here, we can slot in the batons into the studs on the side of the lamppost and pose Matt Murdock in a very acrobatic way. This is such a cool visual, and sticking the Daredevil alleyway next to the Spider-Man one, we are starting to really build out a New York City style collection here. And seeing how easy it could be to slot a nice Daredevil figure like this into a comic-based Marvel set, LEGO could really give us the Daredevil glow-up I think we all want. But what about the flip side? What about a set and a figure I think nobody asked for? It's Echko. The show kind of came and went, despite having a nice role for Kingpin and a cameo from Daredevil. And yet, Maya received the full LEGO treatment for the Marvel CMF Series 1. But a custom set? Well, that's a bit trickier, because there really aren't any big set pieces from the show. The best ones I can think of is the fight on the roller rink. So maybe we can use Echko as an excuse to build something small and fun, like a pinball machine. I came across this model from MindX Bender, and it's the kind of tiny build I love. So I used it as inspiration to piece together this tiny pinball machine. I don't think it's as stable of a model as I usually make, but then again, it's Echko. A fine looking show, but nothing really stuck with you after watching it. There is this blank black 2x2 tile here, but I don't know what design to put there. I remember a few Marvel pinball machines that exist, but let me know in the comment section down below what I should put as the marquee for this pinball machine. As for the Echko figure, I'll pull out my reliable black leather jacket torso and the other pieces from the Maya CMF figure. The show itself didn't really have any fanfare, and I guess I felt a similar apathy with the Polybag. It's a fun little build with some colorful skates, and I guess if you threw in a kingpin, it might be better. And that's certainly the mentality the producers had with the show itself. But now, let's put in some effort. Maximum effort. It's Deadpool and Wolverine. In previous videos, I've made custom figures of most of the main characters, including the Void Resistance team, and LEGO has made it very clear they are not making any sets based on Deadpool. So, what do? Well, what if I made a custom Polybag based on the Deadpool and Wolverine friendship necklace that was plastered all over the posters? I think this would be a clever way to make a Deadpool set without having to depict any scenes of violence. In fact, oddly enough, the R-rated Marvel movie just might make the most family-friendly Polybag I've ever built. Starting off with some colored plates in the shape of a heart split in two, I'll then layer on some red and yellow tiles and plates to flesh out the main shapes of the Deadpool Wolverine masks. The biggest challenge was the piece count, as I still want to keep this under 60 parts. But I think the final result turned out rather well, with the color and shaping working together to make an accurate facsimile of the logos. And if you like the way this set or any of the sets featured in this video turned out, you're going to want to listen to this. If you're a channel member, I'm for the first time ever going to release these studio files of all these Polybags into a brand new folder just for you. You can order your own pieces, build your own Polybags, or even tinker and tweak with my designs to your heart's content. So if you're a channel member, you're getting art files and studio files. If you haven't done so yet, check out that membership offer. I think you'll like it. Unlike our next movie, which I think nobody liked, The Marvels. Despite being one of the lowest performing MCU movies, The Marvels actually got a LEGO set, the Hoopty, and like the movie itself, it was overpriced and underwhelming. So, okay, custom Polybag for The Marvels. There's really only one option in my mind, the most fascinating scene in the entire movie, the post-credits scene. So if I'm gonna make a custom Kelsey Grammer Beast minifigure, I think I can combine two pre-existing torsos into a new and very accurate design. I'll use this lab coat from Jurassic World's Henry Wu and the Beast CMF figure and trace the lines of the coat and the ID badge. Then I layered in the furry muscles of Beast underneath the jacket to make a very accurate Hank in a coat torso. I'll use the original Beast head and hair, and if I'm being honest, this is a rather cute Beast figure and will most likely be the highlight of this set. Speaking of which, I'll pull some inspiration from this hospital bed racing set and whip up a quick and easy little build. Together with a cheap Monica figure thrown in, we have a nice little Polybag for the Marvels. I do wonder if LEGO will revisit this scene, this scenario for the Doomsday sets, if the film itself goes there, but if not, at least we have this cute little Polybag to remember one of the only good moments from the Marvels. But there's another Phase 5 movie that isn't that well liked, but still got a LEGO set, Captain America Brave New World. The Jet and Red Hulk set wasn't all that bad, with some nice figures and a solid Red Hulk big fig. So what to do for the Polybag? Well, I already made a custom Samuel Stearns figure, but I think we can make something a bit more impactful. One of the best moments in the movie is when Sam Wilson surfs a missile with Red Wing flying behind him for cover. And I think that scene could make for a really great mini vignette. The only real challenges were suspending the missile in mid-air and ensuring there's a spot for Cap and a posing stand for Red Wing. Designing the actual missile itself was pretty straightforward once I had those core issues mapped out. Simply grab your Brave New World Sam figure, attach Red Wing and a shield to this curved clear posing stand, and you have a little surfing scene that has been burned into my head ever since my wife and I watched the movie. Moving on to our final custom Polybag for the video, it's Agatha All Along. A surprisingly great show with some major magical implications, one of which is the introduction of Wiccan, who sports a costume just waiting for a LEGO minifigure recreation. And this design took a bit of extra work like Daredevil, because the costume is so intricate and full of details, like these symbols adorning the edges, this multi-layered red scarf, some mixes of purples and dark blues, and several belts and accented rings. I really struggled not to over-design this character because the more time I spent with it, the more I was worried I was going to keep adding on new elements to it. In the end, I think I got the balance right on the torso and legs, with both pieces having enough negative space to balance out all the details on the edges. Plus, I was finally able to sneak in my first ever Easter egg into a minifigure design, with the words Marvel spelled out on the left and the words Lego Ryan spelled out on the right. So with the torso and legs locked in, let's talk the face. Wiccan has a face that's both feminine and masculine. He has strong eyebrows, but soft eye makeup, sharp eyes, and a delicate indentation on one of his eyebrows. So I started with a female face as the base, and then built the masculine elements on top, hoping to toe the line and match Wiccan's look. As for the build, I wanted to create a little tarot vignette with some cards and candles. Now I have spots for 7 white 2x1 tiles for cards, and I whipped up a tarot card backprint. But then I remembered, Agatha All Along as a show really went the extra mile with its production and story, so I'm gonna go the extra mile too. I digitally built and recreated 6 different tarot card vignettes in studio, rendered out the images, ran them through several filters and adjustments, and now I have a complete set of tarot cards for Wiccan's reading. If you are a channel member, you'll get all of these special prints as well. This polybag in the end, like the show, is deceptively simple and seemingly straightforward, but the more you look at the details, the more you get to see what I think is some of my best artistry. With the incredible highs and lows of Marvel Phase 5, I can see why LEGO didn't opt in for sets of every property. We may get a tie-in here or there, but we might not get a full wave until Doomsday next year. So for now, it's up to custom creators to depict these movies and shows in LEGO form. And if you want to make your own versions of any custom polybag I've designed, or have your very own custom LEGO Wiccan or Beast, check out the channel membership offer. I think you'll really enjoy the list of goodies you get, and it grows practically every week. Once you sign up, you'll get access to every custom print I've designed and receive pre-formatted sticker sheets for easy ordering at makestickers.com. I've done all the hard work in sizing and formatting. All you have to do is click add to cart. So these are 6 new LEGO MCU polybags for the collection. I really have a fun time trying to synthesize each movie or show into a singular moment, so let me know which MCU property I should take on for the next video. And of course, big thanks to my current channel members. You guys make videos like this possible. And as always, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.